On a pitch like that, I mean, which pitch didn't do anything? Honestly speaking, if I look at and if I can recollect, a lot of the balls, most of the batter got out was to a straighter delivery. We also as a batting unit made a lot of mistakes while batting. It's not just them, but we also didn't bat well in the first innings. Pitch had nothing as such, no such demons as we call. There was nothing like that. It was nice pitch to bat on. Once you are in, you can score runs as well, as we saw. But again, you just need to apply and keep concentrating on a pitch like that, because it's important to find ways to score runs, and to score runs you need more concentration on a pitch like that. No, yeah, not really. Honestly speaking, I mean, if you look at the entire dismissal of the 30 wickets that has been fallen, I mean, I don't see anything that pitch did. The batsmen didn't, apply the technique. It is from our side also, not just them, but us also. Some of the shots as a batting unit we played were not up to the standards. And again, I mean, the pitch was completely fine. It seems a very normal pitch to me. It is a typical Indian wicket where, it'll turn, odd ball might just come in. That is what the Indian wicket is all about. We just made mistakes from our side, having to understand that which shots we need to play, which ball was coming in, whether to play cut shot or not, whether to go over the top or not, whether to sweep or not. So those are the things you need to understand when you're playing on a pitch like that. In Chennai we saw every ball was turning from the rough and all that. There was no rough here. Akshar got most of his wicket, which was just skidding onto the pads, onto the stumps, and the batsman missed the line. That's all. Very simple, to be honest. We did the same. I mean, some of the shots as a batting unit we also played were not, up to the skills that we have. But it's a good learning. We can understand from this that it was a ping ball. We haven't played spin so much with the ping ball, so it was a good learning for us as a batting unit. Whenever we play the next, I think we'll be very well equipped to handle that. If you look at the Chennai Test match, the second Test match, I mean, it was turning hell of a lot than what it did here, to be honest. And a lot of the batters got runs there in the second Test match. Like I said, in this Test match we have to be honest to ourselves and accept that we didn't bat it well. But in Chennai, which had a lot more to offer than this pitch, we batted well on that pitch. We learned from our mistakes. Guys applied themselves. Ashwin got 100. Ajinkya in the first innings got 50. Virat got 60 odd in the second innings. So, if you apply yourself, you can still score runs. Pant, not to forget, scored a 50 as well, if I'm not wrong. So one game, yes, we accept as a batting unit. In this Test match, we didn't bat it as we would have liked to, but it is something that we need to just take it to ourselves and get back to our drawing board and decide what we need to do when the ball is not spinning. Actually, it didn't spin. Most of the batters got out to a straight ball, so we need to try and rectify those things. Ashwin is probably one of our match winners, if not the match winner of the Indian cricket history. He's definitely a match winner for us. He's won so many games for us. So getting to that milestone, obviously, big congratulations to him. Must be very great feeling for him as well to do that in his 77th Test match. I think, if I'm not wrong, second fastest to 400, which is a great feat. I think, hats off to him, and not to forget his contribution with the bat in this series as well. He's done remarkably well, and obviously team relies on him a lot. No, Akshar was simply brilliant. I mean, we saw just coming out from nowhere in the squad is never easy, and to perform as well is never easy. First game he was out injured, It was slightly down, but then he came back, bowled very well in Chennai, and then bowled very well here as well. He understands the conditions really well. He knows how to vary the pace and what lines to bowl, which is very, very important as a bowler. To understand your line to the right-hander, to the left-hander is very important. And I think what he did brilliantly in this game was he made the batter play most of the balls, which is always important on a wicket like that, which you never know which one is going to turn, which one is going to come straight. So on a wicket like that, it is important to bowl stump to stump, and I think he did that pretty well. Like I said, it all goes to his skill set. He's got solid skill set, bowls little wider from the crease and slightly slingy action as well. So it makes batsmen's eye line very difficult whether to leave or play. So that is something that makes him very, very special, that skill set that he has.
I think we're bitterly disappointed. I feel like we have probably missed an opportunity, more so in the first innings than anything. You look at the position we found ourselves in at 70 on for 2, and we had a real chance to, in hindsight, if we'd have even got 200, that would have been a very good score on that wicket, and the game would have looked completely different. So it's slightly frustrating. It's something that we've got to learn from. We've got to get better, and we've got to keep looking to find a way of scoring runs on surfaces like this. But it is very challenging. You can see that with the scores throughout the whole game, the way that India batted as well, with guys that are more used to playing on turning wickets. No, I honestly think the ball had quite a big factor in this wicket. I think that the plastic coating on it and the hardness of the seam compared to the red SG ball meant that it almost gathered pace off the wicket if it hit the shiny side, if it didn't hit the seam. If you went up a pace, you look back at some of the replays, and actually the bats would probably end up in the right position and would have covered the ball. But because of the nature of it gathering pace off the wicket, I think that had a big part to play in things. And credit to Axar in particular. I think he utilised that and exploited that exceptionally well. And found a very good method, very repeatable method on that surface, which made it very challenging. Hide away from the fact that we've been outplayed again. On this surface, we've still been outplayed, and we have to accept that. But it's a real shame because it's a fantastic stadium. There's 60,000 people come to watch a brilliant, iconic Test match, and I feel for them. They've come to watch Virat Kohli face Jimmy Anderson, Stuart Broad, or Jack Leach, and watch Ashwin against our top batters like Ben Stokes, and almost feel they've been robbed. They've instead had to watch me get wickets on there, which shouldn't be the case. I shouldn't be bowling. So. That's I think the frustration for a lot of people, and the fact of the matter is it was challenging for both sides, and as a player all you can do is play what's in front of you, and credit to India, they outplayed us on that wicket. I think that these it's a very good question, very tricky one to answer. I think that this surface it's a very challenging one. It's a very difficult one to play on. And it's not for players to decide whether it's fit for purpose or not. I think that the fact that it has been very tricky conditions, you look at the scores on both teams within this game, it has been hard work. It's been hard for some very experienced batters in these conditions to score runs as well. It's not just us that are struggling. So, of course, we can be better. We can certainly be better. And the thing that's frustrating, I think, for a number of the guys in our dressing room is we found ourselves in a position at 70 for 2 in that first innings, and we didn't really make it count. And in low-scoring affairs on wickets that do deteriorate, that first innings can be really crucial. So I think that's something that we will look back on. We'll try and, if we get in a position of strength like that again, or in a position where we can potentially get ahead in the game, then we have to take it. And it's a young group. We can't have any scars going into this last game. We've got to keep looking forward, and we've got to keep remembering that we won 6 on the bounce coming into the last 2 games away from home, 6 on the bounce in the subcontinent. You don't become a bad team overnight. And we've got to be realistic about a number of different things. And if we are going to get better, then we've got to understand there's going to be the odd bump in the road. We're not always going to be perfect, but it's how we respond. And that's the most important thing, is that we go into next week with a very good attitude. We take the hurt from this, and we apply it in that performance, and we try and use it as motivation to come away from this series with something. Look, I've got no problems with the umpires on the field. I thought they were outstanding. Actually, when it's challenging for the batters, it's definitely challenging for the umpires, and I thought they both had very good games, to be fair. I think you're referring to what happened when we were in the field, and it's more the frustration of the process. It wasn't a frustration with the individual at all. It's the fact that we want the process to be consistent. It doesn't matter if it's just for us. It's for both teams. You want everyone to get the opportunity to, whether it's look at more than one camera like that. That was the case this time around. We'd seen it in the first game, in the previous game, where things weren't checked for as long as they could have been, and we had a good conversation with Jabagal at the end of day's play. We explained our frustrations and what we wanted to get off our chest, and felt like through that we came to a very good understanding, and I felt like we've actually dealt with it very well, to be fair. It was a good conversation. They took on board what we had to say, and hopefully that improves things moving forward. Yeah, we look to try and play our best side in terms of utilising that pink ball. Thought the wicket was going to hold together better than it did, and throughout the whole practice days, it seemed around, it swung prodigiously and seemed like a real threatening option. Easy in hindsight to say otherwise and select a different team. But we wanted to give our seamers, which we feel is a big strength of ours, the chance to exploit those conditions. And unfortunately, it was a slight misread in that regard.